in the car business at Loop 340 and east of 84. Come by. Let's be friends.
All right, 5:25 is the time. Thanks to Tommy Tompkins and Bear Ridge, they have sponsored the first two major championships on the PGA Tour. They were the sponsor of the Masters coverage back in April and also the PGA Championship. Bear Ridge, where you can get back to what it used to be like there, and they've done an incredible job and work to do, but they have saved a golf course at Bear Ridge off 84 south of Waco. What a weekend it was. What a run it's been for Sam Houston, the Bearkats football team. We had Casey Keeler on, remember, before the year. Eliasa Anderson's been on with us, a former Baylor lineman, a couple of times in recent weeks, and now Casey Keeler of the national champion Sam Houston Bearkats. I don't think you'll ever get tired of that intro, will you?
Oh, I love that. I keep on saying it over and over again. It's like, sometimes you got to pinch yourself, too, and make sure it's real, you know?
How much did your team having to thunder back 2 weeks ago build your confidence for having to win with almost no time on the clock left on Saturday?
Well, to me, it goes back to the first game when, Southeast Louisiana is making a drive, and we get a third down stop and a fourth down stop against a great offense. And then we have to get 2 first downs. And then we get in the playoffs, and, we had to make a play at the end of the game to beat Monmouth. And we had to make a play at the end of the game to beat North Dakota State. And we had to make a play at the end of the game to beat James Madison. Either we had to go down and score or we had to get a hold. So really, we've had a number of games that were just like this. And I think our kids have learned that, just got to keep on playing every snap. And the biggest fear you get in a big ball game is that you start to panic because you think like you're not going to reach the ultimate goal. And you can't do that. You just got to play the next snap. And that's something we've talked about over and over and over. And it's something, talking to Kyle Flood, the O coordinator at Texas, who was with Nick Saban last year, it's something that Nick does a great job of getting his kids to understand is like, we're not going to ask you to do anything more than what you can do. Just do your job. We're all going to be. And so I think our kids did their job, and that was a great drive at the end, 16 plays, 2 fourth down conversions, and we thread the needle on a third down and got the win.
So, Coach, for those who may not have been watching, you guys had the lead through 3 quarters, and then here comes your opponent, South Dakota State. They scored to make it 17-14. They score again with less than 6 minutes to play to take the lead, and then you guys score with 16. So take me through that 16 seconds remaining, the play call, and just kind of what was going on at that time period, and then obviously the connection that ends up winning you a national championship.
Yeah, so we're basically going to call 4 verticals, and we're in a trip formation, and we're going to put Ife Adehi right down the middle, have him find whatever open seam can be and sit down. And then we have a route by our running back that's going to be kind of a jag route where he's going to head out and come underneath. I didn't want to hit that because if we hit that, there's a chance we're going to get tackled in bounds. We're at 16 seconds. We had no timeouts left. So I was really hoping that we could kind of jam it in there. And the whole time I'm talking to Ryan Carty, give me a 4th down call, give me a 4th down call, give me a 4th down call, because I can't kill it and I can't call timeout, and we cannot leave it down out there. And then it's touchdown. But the Ife did a great job of just finding the linebacker, just beating him across his face and sitting down, and we just drilled the ball in there. I'm telling you what, Eric Schmidt is a warrior. Mm-hmm. The pounding he took, and we warned him. I mean, warned him right after we beat James Madison. Like, we're going to have to ride you, and we're going to have to ride you hard. And he goes, Coach, I know it. And we did. We rode him hard. He ran the ball a lot and made a lot of big plays for us.
Well, I was watching that James Madison game, which is a couple of weeks ago, and he took some shots. But you're right, he's tough as nails, and just kept giving you that. And isn't that, not that you don't need that at defensive tackle or safety, but the quarterback who seems to be fearless and leads you through that kind of pain, isn't that the perfect type MO for someone like that?
Absolutely. Someone asked me about how does this team compare to my 2003 national championship team. I said, we had a warrior at quarterback, just like we have a warrior here. And the quarterback had Andy Hall, who was a 5th-round pick by the Eagles. He didn't take a single snap during practice for 4 a bad shoulder. Ryan Carty, now my offensive coordinator, took every single practice snap for 4 straight weeks, and we won the national championship. I'm telling you, Eric Schmid did not practice a lot the last 3 or 4 weeks. It got to the point where it's almost like tradition that Thursdays and Fridays he wasn't throwing the ball because he had enough, and we rode him, and we had just enough gas left in the tank to get across the finish line, and that was a great win for us.
How much do those, when the game was over, one of the first people I thought about was Brian Bell, who played quarterback. He's now a high school coach at China Spring. Brian, and he was there about a decade ago when they knocked on the door a couple of times, and North Dakota State was just so good, and they still are. How much do former players play into this and setting the table up for what you have and how you encompass everybody from the past?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's one of the things I said is when I got here, there already was a recent rich tradition that I could draw off of. And when I recruited, like, hey, guys, they've been to 2 national championships. It's doable. I'm not selling you a vision that's not doable. We can win a national championship here. And so all the things that Willie Fritz did and Brian Bell and Tim Flanders, who actually I got tickets for the game, and I saw PJ Hall in the audience when I saw some of the TV coverage. I mean, all those former before. And the other thing we talk about is you're playing for immortality. And what I mean by that is I went to the Big House for a clinic once, and I remember, walking in the stadium, and I saw, I think it was 1901, 1902, 1903, 1904. They won 4 national championships over 100 years ago. And I said, guess what, man? They're still celebrating those national championships. They'll celebrate this national championship forever. Mm-hmm. Forever. And so it's immortality. And, that's what we were trying to go get. And I'm just so proud because, you talk about a team that's persevered through everything. Let me give you a great explain what happened at halftime, or not halftime, so during the rain delay. So 5 different times I had to go tell the players, we're back to 30 minutes. Hey, we're back to 30 minutes. We're going to go out in 30 minutes. We're back to 30 minutes. And so finally I'm like, listen, I'm going to let this thing, go down before I tell them anything. Because I don't want to be, hey, we're doing this again. So finally they give me, hey, coach, we're going to go out in 8 minutes and it's all clear. So I pop my head and say, hey, guys, we're ready to go. 8 minutes, we're heading out. It's all clear. So I go back to get dressed because we're all sopping wet from the weather. And all of a sudden I hear the music go on. And I kind of peek around the corner, and it's a mosh pit. It is. These guys are hooping and hollering and jumping up and down. The music, it's like I was at a disco. And I'm smart enough to know that sometimes you just stay away. And those guys were so excited to go back out and play that so-called second half, end of the second quarter and third or fourth quarter. And it was really cool. And that's the way this team is. They're very close, and they believe in each other, and that's why we won a national championship.
All right, so you've got, 4 months off, 3 months off before you got to dust them off and go play Northern Arizona?
I have a team meeting tonight at 7. We're telling the kids that we don't want to see them until June 28th. And then we're going to, start getting back after it. So great thing about our institution is very concerned about player welfare and player and health. And so we're only going to play a 10-game schedule. We're going to build 2 bye weeks into our schedule, which I think is awesome that the university is doing that because, we're worn out. I mean, the one thing that's commonplace amongst all the coaches I talked to, and I just got done talking to Danny Rocco at Delaware, and he said the exact same thing. Never been more physically or emotionally exhausted because every week you're wondering if you're going to beat COVID. Mm-hmm. Every week there's just a new challenge that happens. And are you going to finish the season? Hey, I saw a bunch of teams in the Northeast are going to cancel games, and now there's teams in the Missouri Valley canceling games. Are we going to have a national championship? And so it's just been so emotionally and physically draining that I really think our kids need some time away from here. So I said I have a team meeting tonight at 7, and then we're going to do some player evals tomorrow, and then we're cutting them loose for June 28th, which I think is a smart thing to do.
Coach, in the tournament, you beat the 10-6, 1-2 teams. You won 4 games, and you won by a combined 15 points. So a lot of close games in there. How much fun and also how stressful is the FCS playoff format?
I think it's the ultimate, gauntlet. And it's just so cool because, we easily could have lost to Monmouth, and Monmouth was underseeded. They're probably more like a 6 or 7. That's how good they were. And just the chance to be in a single elimination tournament where, you win, you move on, you lose, you're done. It's pretty cool. And I wish FBS would expand theirs at least 8. I think 16 would be really cool because there's been times where unseeded teams have made some pretty significant runs. And, Monmouth is a great example that we had to make a play on the last play of the game, an interception in the end zone to beat them. And we won by 6. So, yeah, this team was battle-tested. And, guys, I'm telling you, the best 3 teams in the country, not named Sam Houston State, were North Dakota State, James Madison, and South Dakota State, and we beat them in 3 consecutive weekends, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's crazy good. It's unbelievable. Casey, you may not remember this, but we had you on before the season began, and we appreciate the access to Eliasa because we knew him when he was at Baylor as well. But, could you imagine back when you were sitting there watching others play in the fall that you would have a chance to – I knew you were going to be good. You did too. But did you ever think this was possible, even back when the frustration of the fall, when you sat there and watched everybody else?
And it's interesting. As a coaching staff, we just met, and that was one of the things we talked about, how we're watching other people play, and then we're seeing games being canceled. And then we get into our own season finally, and then we see games being canceled. And we're thinking, are we ever going to get to play for a tournament? And a lot of the guys on my staff were like, we're never going to make it to the playoffs. This is never going to happen. And we just found a way to get through. And like I said, that's why I think it was just so emotionally and physically draining, because it literally was week in and week out. And we get tested 3 times a week. In the playoffs, we get tested 4 times a week. And every time you have a COVID test, it'd be like, are we okay? Are we okay? Because they're kids. And I thought our team did an amazing job. I think overall we had 3 players during the entire season that had COVID, that missed any games. And that's just amazing. It's amazing that our kids were so conscious of the fact that if they wanted to have a season, they had to follow the protocols that we've asked them that we put in place.
By the way, I know you can talk about it because they've signed. You got the running back coming from Central Texas and Zach Robochik. You got Kavion Gaither from Conley. We watched him play. We've had Zach on. And I know that you got great depth or whatever. You're going to give them a chance to breathe. Do coaches get a chance to breathe? Can you wait for the new wave as well coming in pretty soon?
Well, and I told our guys, I said, guys, we need to get out of here. For our own mental and physical well-being too. And so we're going to have all the freshmen come in June 28th, just kind of because some of these guys we've not met in person. Sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Everything's been through Zoom, and because you couldn't go to schools, you couldn't. So it's going to be, hey, how you doing? I'm the head coach. Now we've Zoomed with them and we've talked to them a lot of times and all those kind of things, but we love the freshman class coming in. I think of the 100 players that we have coming back, I think of the 100 players in the team, like 95 are coming back. So we're walking into a situation where we think we have a great team coming back. We get a chance to bring these freshmen in, really get them a great redshirt year, and then build the program from there. Because to me, if you can redshirt a freshman, it's awesome. Sure. But at our level, it's really hard. Here's an opportunity because we have the whole team coming back that we should be able to redshirt almost everybody in this class.
Coach, I know it's not really viable because the money that's involved, but what did you think of being separated in the spring? Like, if it was a viable alternative in a different type of universe, would you like that, or do you prefer the fall?
You know what? In many ways, it was so awesome because you were getting such attention. I think the ratings were through the roof. People 90% of people who love football are just like me. As soon as the Super Bowl is over, it's like, what do we do now? Literally, what do we do now? Hey, there are spring games on. So, I thought it really worked well. But again, because of the recruiting cycle and also because of the Division I games that most teams need, those money games. Like we play A&M, not this year, but next year. We need that money game every couple of years. It would be impossible. But I did truly love the attention that these players got in the spring season.
Hey, go get into a time machine or something like that, or something where you can go be frozen for a couple of months and get your body rejuvenated. I'm serious. Casey, I'm an SFA grad. I mean, SFA
this is
and Sam
painful for him in a way.
Yeah, we've had Eliasa on. We've had you on a couple. It's been fantastic. Seriously. There was a time when I was younger, I never would have thought. I'm so happy for you guys. We had Texas A&M Commerce in the state of Texas win Division II, 2 or 3 years ago with Colby. You just did it in FCS. And, of course, Mary Hardin Baylor's done what they've done. Texas, it's been a while in the high level. It's time for someone to do that, but it's great the state of Texas gets another national championship. So happy. I really am proud for what you guys have done, and good luck going into the offseason.
Hey, guys, appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Good luck with that team meeting as well. Team meeting, and then get out of here, and we don't want to see you again until June 28th. I love that. And they're going to play, one less game during the regular season, get a couple of bye weeks, and
and that was their last game in the Southland, right? Everybody's moving?
Yeah, that was another question. I was going to ask them about the WAC. What a great way to end the Southland Conference, and then you go, Abilene Christian, Stephen F. Austin,
Delta State,
Sam Houston State, and I believe I'm not sure who else it is.
Tarleton?
Might be Tarleton.
Yeah, Tarleton.
Well, like you mentioned there, I knew that you couldn't do the spring seasons again. But the reason why is what he just mentioned. They got to have that money, the money from non-conference games. So when you